My name's Phil Burge. I'm a civil engineer by profession, retired these days. Now I'm a golfer, a cyclist and a mentor with Mentoring Men.
My name's Greg Smith. I work as a celebrant and I volunteer on local community radio, and I got into the program since its inception and put my hand up to be a mentee.
What is your hometown? Sydney? Just live down the road actually at Waitara.
And my hometown is Westlea.
What has been your main type of work? Well, as an engineer I was involved in building construction for some 40 years. Retired now.
My main type of work is as a funeral celebrant. So I deal with a lot of people who are grieving, but I've done it for 13 years. It's my primary source of income and I find it really rewarding.
Why did you decide to get involved in the Mentoring Men program? I think I feel like I've been mentoring all my life from a family or in the workplace. At this specific program I thought I had some skills, having gone through life for a number of years, that I could maybe help other people with.
I got involved with the program because I'd known Ian Westmoreland, the creator of the program, and I wanted to share his passion and be in the program. And I did the training, found it really helpful, and then after all the mentors, and we'd trained as mentors, there were no mentees, and so I put my hand up to find a mentor to be professionally matched.
What has been the best part of the program for you? Well, as a mentor, the program has taught me to listen. It's not something new, but listen to what other people have to say. When I did the training, this poem, written by Ray Horton, called Just Listen, says it all. Listen to the first verse. Please just listen. When I ask you to listen to me and you start giving advice, you have not done what I have asked. When I ask you to listen and you begin to tell me why I shouldn't feel that way, you are trampling on my feelings. When I ask you to listen to me and feel you have to do something to solve my problems, you have failed me, strange as that may be. Listen. All I ask you to do is listen, not talk or do, just hear. And to me that poem is sort of what Mentoring Men is about, right from the word go. Listening to someone, hearing what he has to say, not telling him what he should be doing or what his feeling should be, but just listening. The rest of it, the two-way conversation or whatever, will come in time, as the mentor, or the mentee rather, as the mentee wants, not as the mentor wants. So that's really stuck in my mind, listening.
What was the question again?
It is. What has been the best part of the program for you?
The best part of the program was to spend time with a senior male who's retired and therefore has lived a life of work experience, and I'm yet to complete that journey. And so I felt that there was an opportunity to start a relationship with a bloke who was now living a life of retirement. My dad was my mentor, he died about 5 years ago, and I really missed that senior role model. And so in a mentor, while I wasn't seeking that in the beginning, I found that bloke that I could sit down, have a cuppa with, or even a beer these days, and just share that, have that relationship with a bloke that I lost when my dad died.
You know, that's really good to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, you say, what's the best part of it? That's a pretty good part.
Yeah.
To be likened to someone's father as a mentoring role. Yeah, thanks, Greg. That's really good. How did you hear about the Mentoring Men program? I read about it in the Bush Telegraph local magazine. I thought, yeah, that's interesting. It had only just started at that stage, and I thought, yeah, I'll get involved.
So I heard about it. When the thought was there to start that program, because men's breakfasts, which are now the Mentoring Men's Breakfasts, started 7 or 8 years ago. That was back in 2013, and I had been coming to these breakfasts every 2 months and just talking to blokes, and because that was kind of one of the really keen things that were going to pop up in that. And so when the program was in its early days, it was great to say, oh yeah, this is something that's needed. This is something that I want to be involved with.
Do you feel that you are being a mentor in this program, or you're being a mentor in this program, will change a mentee's life for the better? Well, I'd hope so, but we're all individuals. We each have our own lifestyle, and you might change something in the short term, or the mentee might respond to something in the short term. Whether it changes in the long term, as I say, I'd like to think it would, but it's up to each individual to do their own thing and perform and change their own life in the way they feel. What do you think?
100%. Being a mentor in the program, because I've been on both sides of the coin. I've been a mentee and a mentor, and I've been surprised at how the program has seen progress in the two blokes that I mentor, but also being a mentee, I found that it took me a long time to get to know why a mentor could benefit me. I think I had something in my gut that said, go for it and sign up and find a bloke with more life experience than you.
How would you rate your mentoring relationship? Well, like Greg, I've been involved in 2 mentoring relationships. First one, obviously, Greg and I. And I got feedback from both Greg and from Ian, and the feedback was positive. And I think it's essential that you get some feedback. I know I do work with Cancer Council and the Prostate Cancer Foundation, give talks mainly on prevention, but you need the feedback to really know whether you're getting the message across, whether you're getting through. And having got that feedback from Greg and from Ian, yes, it was rewarding. The other relationship that I've had, it was a short-term relationship. It was successful. Particular mentee hadn't been in employment for a couple of years, and I was rewarded when he did get back into employment. That was good. And unfortunately, we've sort of lost contact. And how I'd rate that relationship, I'd relate that 50-50, whereas Greg and I'd put it on a higher scale. What about you, Greg?
How do you say? I've got a great relationship with my mentor, and that's here today. And there's a common social aspect that goes beyond the mentoring relationship. But while it is a social relationship, when it can go beyond that, when I can pick up the phone and say, do you want to catch up for a coffee? There's a few things that I need a sounding board for. Well, Phil's that sounding board.
Yeah, it's good. This one's probably for you, Greg.
Yes.
Do you plan to remain in contact with your mentor after mentoring has completed? Well,
so I started my relationship with my mentor back in the early days of the program, and I've stayed in touch with Phil, my mentor. I can't see why I wouldn't. We live in the same shire, which is really convenient. We're not that far away from each other, and that face-to-face contact I'm probably always going to treasure.
yeah, the old COVID-19 put a little bit of a stopper on it, but anyway, we're coming through that. How likely are you to recommend the Mentoring Men program to a friend or colleague? Yes, very likely. Already have, already will, do again. But as I was sort of saying before, it's up to each individual as to whether they really want to be involved or not, and it's their decision. And whilst you can lead someone into something, you really have to be committed to it and want to maintain it, the relationship. But I certainly would recommend it to any man.
I'd definitely recommend it to any bloke. I see blokes in my circle of friends and in the circle of men that I come into contact with at all different stages, be that through my volunteering at a community radio station or through my funeral celebrant work, and 100% I would absolutely recommend the program to anyone else I came into contact with.
And would you recommend other people to have a mentor in their life? Yeah, for sure. Again, as I say, different people respond in different ways. Myself, I haven't had a mentor, but then again I feel that I've had relationships with good mates throughout my life where I have been able to talk about personal things. And that's what mentoring is about. It's about mateship. Really, we've talked about whether it should be called mentees and mentors or whatever. And we've discussed that maybe it should be called mates or something like that. And certainly, I feel with Greg and I, we have become mates through this mentoring relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think, because I worked with my dad for 15 years in business and I brought skills to his business, he still taught me a lot about running a business. And now I run my own business. I had those skills that he taught me as my mentor, and I would recommend that people would take on a mentor or seek a mentor.